Joining me from beautiful Pilot-Mound, Manitoba, Coach Rick McConnell of the male varsity program. Rick, good morning. A couple less kids in class this week. It's the last week of class, so we have exams coming up.
No, not exams, but most of the kids have gone home now for the Christmas break. There's still half a dozen still here. They're leaving today, but everybody else is gone.
So pretty much school is shut down as of Friday, and there's going to be a bit of time for festive cheer for yourself and some hot tub time machine time, and for the kids, a little bit of time with family and friends and kind of recharge the battery, so to speak.
Absolutely. It's much needed. It's coming at a good time here right now. Everybody we all need a break. The kids, the coaches, the staff, just to rejuvenate and get back on top of things. It's been a heavy grind. This academy hockey and all that's involved, it's a busy schedule. And you know what? We got some injuries here right now, so this break's coming at a good time.
So you've mentioned a busy schedule. I mean, let's just clarify for a lot of people, it's not just CSSHL action, because that's a league action that we're predominantly in with a very favorable record of 13-3. But there's a lot of there's two other extra leagues plus an exhibition setup that the male program is involved in. So can we quickly touch on those for those that aren't sure of what exactly is involved with male varsity program at Pilot-Mound?
Yeah, besides our CSHL schedule, we also play in the prep level in the North American League. It's 6 weekends down in mostly Minneapolis. We also go to Detroit. We play 5 or 6 games a weekend there, and then on other weekends we're at tournaments throughout Western Canada for the most part, a couple in the U.S. as well. So, and we also have exhibitions. So our schedule is we pretty much play every weekend throughout the year. There's probably a couple off, but overall it's a heavy schedule. Plus being on the ice every day, it keeps us hopping. So I'm looking forward to the break.
There you go. So now the gear gets a break. The skates might take a bit of a break. The coaches take a break. Let's touch on this last weekend's visit to Minnesota, because this was the last weekend before going into the break. Playing in Blaine, I've noticed over the roster, and we've talked about this, there's only one player that potentially could be aging out this year in Tynan Urick. And Tynan's heading back to Duncan after the season. This team, for the majority, has a chance to stick around to be together for a lot longer than we think.
Yeah, the potential's there because this league we play in the States it's at the prep level. It's mostly grade 11 and 12 kids, and my team, we take our team down there and we're basically grade 10 and 11s. So we're not in over our head, but I take them down there because it's a good challenge. It gives the kids a taste of what it's like to play. We don't play in the prep elite, although this past weekend we were in playing in the elite level, and it showed. We had some tough games, but some people question why we play at that level, but I don't think it hurts us. It doesn't hurt us to be challenged here once in a while, and you really notice playing the teams down there, big, strong kids, and it's a real different style of hockey down there. It's
that 1 year of maturity where you see what's it called, man muscle or man body versus baby body put together.
For sure. We see that all the time. Even with our kids here, if they can come for more than 1 year, we see a huge difference from the first year to the second year. The kids, the maturity, everything, also being comfortable with the program and being away from home, living in dorms and all that. But the maturity and the strength of the kids, I really notice a difference. And like Tynan, for instance, has played for us he's in his 3rd year with us. He's a tremendous hockey player now, and when he came here, he was a good hockey player, but he's developed immensely over the 3 years. And I look at Brett Pater and Kobe Bear; they're both in their 2nd years, and really developed into big, strong players, confident kind of guys that lead the way for us.
That's exactly it. I mean, I remember watching Tynan and Brett last year and Kobe, and they were sure of their footing, but not. You watch them this year, and they're taking control of their play. Like, they are directing traffic. They're the ones that are pushing the puck forward. I mean, I've been impressed with Tynan's vision on the ice since day one I saw him. And he truly is one of those players that's matured into his body tremendously, like you said, and he's a great leader on that blue line.
Absolutely. Great kid, great work ethic. He does all the right things. He's an all-around good hockey player, and he's going to be a good junior player wherever he lands.
I've also heard he's a bit of a track star.
A little bit, yeah. A lot of our kids are multi-sport athletes, which I promote big time. Hockey's great, but I also like to see these kids involved in as many other things as they can when we have time. Obviously, our schedule's pretty busy, but towards the end of the season, there a lot of the kids participate in track or baseball, and
Yeah.
I like that. They also do cross country run at the start of the season, which is another thing that keeps the kids involved.
I've always heard that it's an opportunity for fun and fitness, those long distance runs. And I think Tynan and Ashton Paul, I believe, I've seen his picture a couple of times on the track and field stars of the week, stars of the month for Pilot-Mound Collegiate as well. So that's pretty awesome as well for the kids. We got to talk. I got to ask you this question because I've played as well at that age where I've been advanced a couple years ahead and played against players older than I have been. Do you think as a player it's daunting, or how do you promote that challenge as being positive to the players? So, you know what? Regardless of an outcome, I want this to happen this way. I want my players to come out strong, to play our game. How do you keep that focus through 60 minutes, especially when you're playing in a prep elite like you did last weekend?
Well, you know what? I approach it the same way I do every game. We got to go out and compete. You can beat anybody. I strongly believe that. Hard work, if you work hard game in, game out for 60 minutes, you can beat anybody. And it's proven, some of these teams we're playing are pretty strong, and we haven't beat them, but we've given them a run for their money. I just thought we have to be on top of our game, and I use it to develop our game. We work on all aspects of what we're trying to work on. I don't worry about the other teams as much at the start of the game. I tell them, it's just another hockey game. They put their skates on the same way you do. Just go out there and work hard. And we're continually working on our kids to follow our systems and stick with what we're trying to preach here. And if we do that, I'm happy. Then we're working on what we need to be.
How important has it been for this younger group to build on their team chemistry over the course of the fall, and being able to see it now transpire into the second half of the season? I mean, I've always kidded on the 10, 11, 12 line, the big boy line. I mean, I've been impressed with how Elder's game has definitely improved playing with Colby and Brett, but seeing the little squirts going at it, I mean, I can't call them squirts no more, but I mean, the 10, 11, 12 kids, I mean, they're not the biggest kids, but man, they're feisty, they're stingy, they're tenacious, and not taking away from the big guys, but it's just always creative to see what those three players do and how well they work with each other.
Oh, absolutely. Chemistry is huge. I have a pretty good bunch of guys here this year. That's one thing. They all stick together no matter what we're doing, no matter what lines. The kids are all pretty good. This is probably the first in 5 years that I've had a total group that's pretty much committed to each other. And that's helped. And, our lines, again, I've shaken our lines up here and there, and I did again this weekend because of injury. We've lost Holland he's been out for a couple of weeks, and that's a big loss in our lineup. He's a spark plug for us, and that 10, 11, 12 line had to be broke up. Obviously, he wasn't there, so I threw Kobe in between them, but the lines have shaken up. But, the kids it doesn't take long when we start clicking, and nobody's complaining about who they're playing with. It's one thing I'm quite happy with my boys. Whenever I tell them the lineup, they're jumping ready to go no matter who they're out with.
That defensive crew you've got, Rick, is pretty special as well. I mean, you've got a great mix of young kids, but all of them know how to advance the puck. And I want to say, I've used the word vision with Tynan. He's leading with that, but a lot of them are really able to move the puck, and they're looking to join the offense, which is something I haven't seen in previous years.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of the makeup of our team this year, and we encourage the guys to jump up when they have time and space and the opportunity arises. We're consistently working on making that first pass to get out of our zone, but we work on that every day, and the kids are improving. Very happy with my decor as well. We put a lot of pressure on. That's a tough position to play, to be honest. That's a very tough position to learn and play at a high level, and it's been an adjustment for a lot of the boys coming in from the hockey they've played. But over our first 3 months, I'm very happy with all of them. Each and every one of them is buying in, and they're working hard, and they're starting to pick up on what we're trying to teach them. So, yeah, things are going pretty good with that crew as well.
Were we able to split the time for the keepers this past weekend in Minnesota, or was one goalie getting all the play?
More or less split the time. Jose ended up getting the last game. I took him out of a game because we were struggling, and I just took him out. I didn't want him to be buried. It wasn't totally his fault, and I just thought, to be fair, I threw him back in there for the last game. And hey, he took it. We won the hockey game. He played very well for me. So
Lost you. Coach Rick, can you hear me? I can't hear you. We'll see if we can get him back here, and we'll finish with one last question. Don't know what happened. We'll see if we can get Coach Rick back there, because we unfortunately lost his audio. This will be a bit of an extensive week off, as well as into January. The boys don't play again until January 11th, where they take on another CSSHL action at home, January 11th and 12th. Down in Pilot-Mound, Manitoba, Coach Rick has been very opportunistic with his team, playing the goaltenders pretty evenly, having played 12 and 13 games respectively through this course of the fall. Having done so, I mean, that tells you they've played like 36, 38 games already, which is pretty impressive for a academy as such. So I think what's going to happen is here, we're going to say goodbye, and we're going to say thank you for joining us here on the Pilot-Mound Show. Merry Christmas to everybody, and have a wonderful, great end of the 2019 year. Happy New Year. Be safe, be merry, and we will see you in 2020. Thanks for watching here on the Pilot-Mound Hockey Academy Show with Thea.